Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Hello everyone, I am Ran Zepping. Today, the topic of my speech is Igniting Hope, 10 New Opportunities for the Chinese Economy. Why do you want to give this speech? I hope it will be helpful for you to see the trend of the times and grasp the opportunities in the future. Thousands of sails pass by the side of the sunken boat, one Machun in front of the sick tree. The pessimists are right, the optimists move forward. Pessimists win the present, optimists win the future. Pessimists see the end of the old era, while optimists see the beginning of a new era. The achievements of each of us are actually the product of the times. For individuals, it is a probability event, but for the times, it is an inevitable trend. A dust of the times that falls on an individual may be a disaster, but an opportunity of the era that falls on an individual may be a major turning point in fate. It's like buying a house in a first and second tier city 20 years ago, and life is like winning, because it just caught up with the golden 20 years of the rising period of real estate. We often talk about the real estate cycle. In fact, in the past 20 years, real estate has only one cycle, which is a cycle of continuous rise, and the fluctuations in the middle can be ignored. With the emergence of the inflection point of the big real estate cycle, there will only be one big cycle in the next 20 years, which is adjustment and differentiation. Another example, in recent years, the explosive growth of new energy has given birth to many super companies. So, where are the opportunities for the future? Do you feel that in recent years, both the global economy and the deep-seated logic of China's economic operation have undergone major changes, such as externally changing from globalization dividends to anti-globalization, increasing geopolitical turmoil, accelerating internal population aging and declining birth rate, housing prices it is no longer rising forever, the new energy track is rising rapidly, and artificial intelligence is changing the world. The only constant seems to be that the stock market is forever young. Many of our original cognitions and laws are no longer applicable, and the confusion and differences in society have begun to increase over the years. The times have changed, and the only thing we have to do is to change our cognition, and it is great wisdom to follow the trend. What kind of era are we in? What major changes have occurred? Where is the future going? See clearly the trend of the times and grasp the opportunities of the future. People need to solve three cognitions in this life: cognition of the times, cognition of themselves, and cognition of mission. Investment is the realization of cognition, so let's start by changing our cognition and take a look at the 10 new opportunities for the Chinese economy in the future. Number 1 opportunity. The world will eventually belong to rational optimists. Pessimists are right, optimists move forward, pessimists see difficulties, optimists see opportunities. This is a philosophical proposition. If you want to seize future opportunities, first be an optimist, because only an optimistic person will actively embrace the future. The law of nature is that optimists eliminate pessimists. Optimists live longer and are more likely to succeed, while pessimists do the opposite. Have you found that optimistic people are more likely to succeed? Look at those entrepreneurs who are long-term optimists, such as Buffett and Musk. If entrepreneurs are not confident about the future, they will not invest and the economy will not grow. On the contrary, a pessimistic person is often prone to failure because he lacks the courage to face the future. Have you ever discovered that optimistic people live longer, heartless, able to eat and sleep, open-minded, is the secret of longevity? And the pain is too much to wish to live, depressed, and depression becomes a disease. It is the enemy of life and health. I would like to ask everyone a question: do you like to make friends with optimistic people, or pessimistic ones? Have you found that optimistic people have more friends, and you like to make friends with optimistic and open-minded people rather than pessimistic and entangled people? Therefore, optimistic people will have more friends, one more friend and one more road. Confucius said, "Those who know are not as good as those who are good, and those who are good are not as good as those who are happy." In my opinion, life is a journey. To live is to be happy. It is better to be happy than to be pessimistic, to love family and friends around you, and love the world. We are gathered here today to discuss new opportunities for the Chinese economy in the future, which shows that we are all rational and optimistic people, and we share common values. Birds of a feather flock together, and people are divided into groups. Who you are with is really important, and it can even change your growth trajectory and determine your success or failure in life. Scientists believe, man is the only animal that can accept cues. So, with hard-working people, you will not be lazy. With optimistic people, you will not be depressed. When you are with positive people, you can always feel positive energy, like being surrounded by sunshine. A positive person is like the sun, which shines brightly wherever it shines. A negative person is like the moon, which is different on the 1st and 15th day of the Lunar New Year. When you are with different people, you will have a different life. This is true of love and marriage, family, business, and life path. Meet the light, chase the light, be the light. Life is a great journey of the soul. The team is more important than the platform. The people in the same company and the scenery along the way are more important than the distant place to go. Forever young, always sunny, always running, always passionate. Second chance. The prosperity and development of China's economy is the greatest opportunity, and the underlying logic of economic operation is changing. The cycle, new infrastructure, new energy, and new economy are coming. The times have changed, and it is great wisdom to follow the trend. Darwin found in his research in the theory of evolution, resilience is also combat power, and it is the most important combat power. In the end, the one who survives is not the strongest or the smartest, but the one who adapts to the environment the fastest. Book of Changes. If you are poor, you will change. If you change, you will be successful. If you are general, you will last forever. Who is optimistic? See the general trend clearly, follow the trend, and those who are easy to succeed in doing things will be optimistic. Anyone who is pessimistic will be pessimistic because he is confused about the future, moves against the trend, and hits a wall everywhere. If we talk about the general trend and opportunities in the future, I think the prosperity and development of China's economy in the future is the greatest opportunity. The achievements of each of us are the product of the times. The times have changed. The only thing we have to do is to change our cognition and follow the trend, but for great wisdom. How to understand this era? Where do we stand? Where is the future going? To sum it up in one sentence, we are bidding farewell to the old cycle and starting a new one. The underlying logic of China's economic operation is undergoing systematic and far-reaching changes. Taking real estate as an example, in 2010, my research group at the Development Research Center of the State Council, based on transnational experience. The research toward growth shifting, that is, due to the Lewis turning point, the long-term real estate turning point, innovation from imitation to originality, etc., the Chinese economy is facing a growth shift and dynamic change. At that time, many people thought that we were passing on negative energy. It is always said that China's economy is about to collapse. However, looking at it now, this judgment at that time was a great positive energy for the Chinese economy. If the society reached a consensus earlier and realized that the Chinese economy has bid farewell to the era of high growth and needs to shift gears, there will be no 2010 to 2017 round after round of stimulus. Real estate has grown steadily, and housing prices in first-tier cities have increased by 4 times. China accounts for half of the world's top 10 high-priced cities. The real estate policy turning point marked by 3 red lines. At the end of 2016, when the central government proposed that housing should be lived in, not for speculation, real estate regulation has continued to increase. Until the introduction of the 3 red lines around 2020, the inflection point of the superimposed long-term population cycle appeared, and the market's expectation of housing prices rising forever was completely changed. Since real estate is the largest pillar industry of China's economy, there is a view that in order to reverse China's economic downturn, it is necessary to restart stimulating real estate. In fact, with housing saturation, overcapacity in 3rd and 4th tier cities, the end of urbanization, and the arrival of an aging population and declining birth rate, it is useless to stimulate real estate. Real estate has been unable to undertake the mission of maintaining China's high economic growth. Stimulation, residents increase leverage, finance increase leverage, house prices rise again, must be drinking poison to quench thirst, brewing greater risks, including financial risks, housing excess risks, and will increase the cost of the real economy, stifle the hopes of young people, and lead to a widening income gap among residents. Therefore, in the future, it is necessary to stabilize the property market, relax various restrictive measures, and prevent a hard landing. However, the real estate industry cannot be greatly stimulated. The country has made up its mind to live in housing and not speculate. Of course, this requires a certain price, such as a moderate slowdown in economic growth. There will be pains in a certain period of economic transformation, but the general direction is okay. We can't go back to the era of stimulating real estate. Lao Chen seeks the country to promote the soft landing of real estate in a market-oriented way, and trade time for space. The national economic cycle is shifting from real estate banking land finance to technological innovation capital market real economy. For another example, take the environmental storm as an example. Over the past few decades, rapid economic growth has achieved world-renowned achievements, but it also sacrificed our resources and environment. The extensive development model has caused great damage to resources and environment. It reached its peak around 2015, when the smog in the north exploded. In winter, the hospital is full of old people and children, and the respiratory problems are very serious. Many people, including me, plan to move south and leave their homes in the north. At the end of 2015, the country proposed supply-side structural reforms, eliminating backward production capacity, and large-scale environmental protection supervision. It took developed countries such as the United Kingdom 20 to 30 years to control the smog, and we have made great progress in 3 to 5 years. This has given us the institutional advantages of concentrating our efforts on major tasks, greatly improving our ecological environment and greatly protecting our lives and health. But there are also some voices, and there are many criticisms of the overcapacity reduction and environmental protection policies, such as shutting down some enterprises, paying a certain price for economic growth, and so on. In my opinion, supply-side reform and improvement of environmental protection standards are the new normal, and the general direction is right. Criticism of public policies should not be cleanliness, let alone Ye Gong's love of dragons. China should not go back to the past extensive development path. A new cycle, it means the general direction and road of innovative development, green development, and high-quality development in the future. Let me ask you a question: who wants to go back to the era of severe smog, serious environmental pollution, waste of resources, and rising housing prices 10 years ago? No. Nobody wants to. In the past 10 years, supply-side structural reforms and environmental protection storms have curbed smog, so that we can finally breathe clean air, and life and health have been greatly protected. House to live in, not to speculate, has enabled us to finally curb the long-term expectation of rising housing prices and solve the world's problems. 8 new regulations curb corruption and waste. Since no one is willing to go back to the past, to the era of severe smog, serious environmental pollution, waste of resources, and rising housing prices, it means that the times are progressing. Listening to thunder in a silent place, of course, has paid a certain price, but everyone, the direction is right. Every era has its own problems. We are not bystanders, but builders and strugglers, and we will build our homeland together. China's economy is standing at the starting point of a new cycle. In the new era, new infrastructure, new energy, and new economy, we must look at the future with a new perspective, which requires new thinking and new vision. Third opportunity. Artificial intelligence is ushering in rapid technological breakthroughs. Chat detonates the emergence of large-scale application scenarios. Artificial intelligence applications such as content creation, content search, intelligent driving, virtual digital humans, brain-computer interfaces, and Starlink technology will profoundly change human society. Large-scale models, data algorithm computing power, chip rapid iteration, and explosive growth bring major new opportunities. In the past few years, artificial intelligence has completed the accumulation from 0 to 1. At the end of last year, I told you about brain-computer interface, Starlink technology, humanoid robot, and intelligent cloud. These are all promising application fields of artificial intelligence in the future. A poem was composed on the spot. Zay radiates brilliance to all living beings, composes a new chapter in calming the wind and clouds, grand plans and aspirations show style, and the good news is spread by watching the mountains and the sea. Didn't expect it? This Tibetan acrostic poem Zeping Macro reads very generously, and I am ashamed. I did not write it, but it was generated by a large artificial intelligence model. In the past 6 months, we have seen that Chat and Wenzhenyan have exploded out of the circle, and using Chat and large language models for content search and content creation has become a trend. Next, I also invite my old friend to tell you a few words. Hello everyone, I am Ren Zeping. I am a digital human generated by the Ruiying platform of SenseTime. It is a pleasure to meet you. When I can't get away from work in reality, I will use my digital avatar to communicate and share with everyone on the short video platform. In recent years, With the continuous development and integration of cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence and virtual reality, digital humans have gradually moved from technological innovation to industrial application, and have entered various fields of our production and life in a highly anthropomorphic form. At the same time, with the explosion of AIGC and large models, artificial intelligence will have stronger versatility and generalization capabilities. The way we perceive the world, interact with each other, and produce and create will also be completely subverted, and social and economic efficiency will also follow. A leapfrog upgrade occurred. No matter from commercial to consumer, or from enterprise to individual, there is a strong and urgent demand for the innovation and application of large models. We also hope to see artificial intelligence technology can be more closely integrated with the industry and create more application value while iteratively upgrading. This digital human is my clone. It can be seen that the leading artificial intelligence technology helps humans to create, and has been able to liberate some of the repetitive labor of humans. In the future, it will be widely used in consulting, content creation, live broadcasting and other work. The development process of artificial intelligence is nonlinear, and the speed of iteration and evolution is very fast. In the past, from 0 to 1, now it is from 1 to 100 to 10,000 and 1 million. Countless application scenarios have suddenly exploded, and the potential is beyond imagination. We use Wenzhen, which was previously developed by Baidu, to make a picture. For example, if you ask him to draw a picture of donkey meat on fire, there is really donkey meat, fire, and still burning, but it is more like a donkey on fire. The advantage of artificial intelligence is that it can be corrected and iterated very quickly. Now the painting is completely in line with the logic of human thinking. In the past, I proposed a concept, New Infrastructure 2.0. The New Infrastructure 1.0 is about construction, and the New Infrastructure 2.0 is about use. The focus is on application scenarios. Artificial intelligence is the New Infrastructure 2.0, which can be used in many ways. It can be combined with various industries. For example, by applying artificial intelligence to industrial production, enterprises can have intelligent production lines, which can intelligently optimize production process parameters, perform quality inspection, and intelligently package, and the efficiency is several times that of the original. For example, using artificial intelligence to create content, called AIGC, using AI to assist in drawing and writing, content creation in the future will no longer be a difficult task for you and me, and some simple and repetitive tasks can be handed over to humans smart to finish. Many of our traditional industries can be combined with artificial intelligence, and the development space is suddenly opened up. Now we have only seen the tip of the iceberg, and the potential of artificial intelligence in the future is even greater. Why did we suddenly see the great leap forward development of artificial intelligence in half a year? The main reason is that the technology accumulated over the years has taken off and the technical bottleneck has been broken through. For example, computer vision recognition, voice interaction, natural language processing and pre-training model technology. A typical example is that the accumulation of artificial intelligence technology has promoted the development of intelligent driving. The semantic segmentation technology of computer vision can classify individual pixels, distinguishing people, cars, roads, and backgrounds. Intelligent driving has moved to a higher level, and the intelligence above L3 and L4 will rely on this technology. Now the appearance, movement, and expression of the virtual digital human are very realistic, and the tone, and speaking style are very natural. In the past 2 years, the rapid commercial development of virtual digital humans is essentially the development of computer vision, speech synthesis, and these artificial intelligence technologies. Today's virtual digital human has the ability to think and learn. Let's take a look at the big screen, the photo on the big screen. She is Chun Ni, the host of Beijing radio and television station. Can you tell which one is real and which one is virtual? Raise your hand if you think the red dress is real. Okay, let's watch the video to announce the answer. Look, in the future, everyone may really not be able to tell whether the video is a real person or a virtual person, or even tell whether the anchor in the live broadcast room is a real person or a virtual person. We take a look at the behind-the-scenes heroes who are moving the age of artificial intelligence forward. Whether it is chat, digital human, or intelligent driving that was popular in the first half of the year, behind it, you have to use the artificial intelligence model. The big of a large model means that the amount of training data is large enough, and if such a large amount of data is to be processed, a huge amount of basic computing power is required. The demand for global computing power is increasing rapidly. NVIDIA Huang Rongsun said, "Now is the tipping point of generative artificial intelligence. Every corner of the world will have computing power demand." I just mentioned the two words huge and fast, behind which these two words imply a huge imbalance between the supply and demand of computing power. Before the emergence of deep learning, the computing power used for AI training doubled in 20 months, which is the traditional Moore's law. After the emergence of deep learning, AI computing power doubled in 6 months. The large-scale model drives the expansion of computing power demand by 10 to 100 times. This is the new Moore's law, which subverts the growth logic of the technology industry. We often hear computing power anxiety, which is the worry about computing power reserves in the new computing era. In the future, the demand for computing power will further expand, the scale of supply will be limited, and the contradiction will become more prominent. It is better to have a gap than no chance. The key is to choose a track and start accurately. Everyone still remembers the development of photovoltaics and new energy vehicles. Many people said that this was a waste of money. Over the past 20 years, new energy has become the new name card of Made in China. The new energy vehicles many years ago are the current computing power track. The scale of China's digital economy is 50 trillion, and computing power-related industries are the super track of the digital economy, and the scale is expected to exceed 10 trillion. Everywhere is accelerating the construction of new infrastructure for computing power. For example, Beijing has proposed to build an artificial intelligence public computing power center and a Beijing digital economy computing power center. Shanghai will build a public computing power platform for artificial intelligence. By 2025, the total computing power will exceed 18,000 flops, which is an astonishing scale. Suzhou has given real subsidies, and enterprises in the city will be subsidized at 20% of the cost of using AI computing power. Computing power infrastructure is the country's most important weapon in the new computing era and the core competitiveness of the country in the digital economy era. Fortunately, there are already companies in China standing on this track, providing the digital base of the new infrastructure, which is the new infrastructure of the new infrastructure. Those who are constant travel far, those who think are always new. The computing power economy is the focus of global strategic competition. Now, we are entering the era of artificial intelligence, and what we are fighting for is not only the computing power infrastructure behind it, but also the cutting-edge chip technology. Large models, data algorithms, computing power chips are all progressing rapidly iteratively. In the future, more and more artificial intelligence companies will start designing and manufacturing chips to solve our stuck neck problem. This is an inevitable trend. Artificial intelligence companies are becoming more and more powerful, from mastering massive data, building machine learning algorithms, to finally breaking through the most difficult chip link. Next, what I want to tell you is, industrial intelligence is a major trend, which will affect the next 20 years. In my opinion, the value created by artificial intelligence for industrial upgrading has just begun, and the space is infinite. In the future, whether an enterprise uses artificial intelligence or not will determine its competitiveness. Companies that use artificial intelligence technology in depth can produce products faster, and the quality of their products is better than those companies that do not use artificial intelligence technology. To give a simple example, for example, all industrially produced products need to pass quality inspection before they can be sold on the market. If manual inspection is used, deviations will easily occur when you are tired, and the sale of products with mixed quality is very easy to damage word of mouth. The AI technology testing equipment can maintain the state 24 hours a day, full of energy, and perfectly and quickly eliminate products with poor quality. Therefore, today, as artificial intelligence technology is becoming more and more mature, we should see opportunities and embrace them in a timely manner. So what are the opportunities for the next phase of AI? Let me analyze 2 opportunities for you. The first one is industrial opportunities. Numerous traditional industries can be intelligently transformed, and there is huge space. Some time ago, I took business school entrepreneurs to Baidu, and Baidu proposed model as a service. With the big model, you and I can use AI. The ability of AI can be used in thousands of industries and in every core scene of production and life. It greatly reduces the threshold for using AI, and at the same time helps many companies reduce costs and increase efficiency. General Large Model and General Artificial Intelligence, after long-term training, have accumulated massive data from all walks of life, fine-tuning and adapting according to the industry. There are huge business opportunities hidden here. The second is the opportunity for users, the opportunity for all of you present here. Companies, enterprises, and individuals in the future will be able to do many applications around artificial intelligence technology. In the future, apply artificial intelligence and use AI to empower your industry, your production, and your content creation, and there will be unlimited new opportunities. In the mobile internet era, one of the most successful directions is to use platforms to iterate traditional industries. E-commerce and food delivery are products of that era, reshaping China's funds, resources, and channels, and the entire retail consumption in China and the world has been reshuffled. Now, the arrival of the era of artificial intelligence will change more industries, such as transportation, energy, finance. There are a series of large models. If it is possible to develop various applications based on these different industry models, such as using large language models to develop virtual human delivery anchors, this will lead to new business models, which will be beneficial to those who dare to venture, fight, think for entrepreneurs who have found a new outlet. It is a virgin land that has yet to be developed, and it is a blue ocean with unlimited opportunities. Follow the trend, grasp the trend of the times, and choose better than hard work. Whether to use AI now is just like whether to follow the trend of the internet age before. 20 years ago, the internet created a number of world-class companies and benefited everyone. In the next few years, artificial intelligence will also create a group of enterprises and individuals who want to use, dare to use, and know how to use AI and are at the forefront of the times. Regarding artificial intelligence, there are still more new businesses and new models waiting to be developed. There is no doubt that these are new growth points. Whoever enters the game first and who breaks the blind spot of vision first will take the lead. With those brave souls united, we can be the heroes of our own lives. Fourth opportunity. To meet the third energy revolution, the new energy industry will be the most explosive and promising industry in the next 10 years. The Nokia moment of traditional fuel vehicles has arrived. New energy vehicles and power batteries are accelerating into the knockout competition. Energy storage, hydrogen energy, intelligent driving is the three new trillion-level tracks, and new technologies, new industries, and new business models are booming. I advocate new infrastructure and new energy in 2019. I proposed in 2021, not investing in new energy now is like not buying a house 20 years ago. What? New energy-related industries are the most promising and explosive fields for China's economy in the future. This is the power of the times, and each of us is a product of the times. Looking forward to the future, from the perspective of industrial investment, we believe that not investing in energy storage, hydrogen energy, and intelligent driving now is like not investing in new energy 5 years ago. We have 7 judgments on the development trend of the new energy industry in the future. 1. New energy is ushering in explosive growth, and it is the most promising industry. It can be said to stand out. The sales of new energy vehicles will be 3.5 million in 2021 and 6.8 million in 2022, doubling for 2 consecutive years. With the resolution of mileage anxiety and safety anxiety, new energy vehicles have taken over the market like a bamboo shoot, and all the smart money and smart people are coming in, which brings rapid iteration of technology and continuous improvement of infrastructure. The user's cognition and usage habits have been irreversibly developed. 2. The dual carbon strategy has brought great opportunities, and the energy landscape is being rewritten. It is the general trend for new energy vehicles to replace traditional fuel vehicles, and the time for Nokia is coming. It is also the general trend to replace the old energy sources of coal-fired power generation with wind power and photovoltaics. New energy vehicles, power batteries, and photovoltaics have become the main export force. 3. Be prepared for danger in times of peace and enhance innovation competitiveness. The industry has begun to involve itself, fighting a price war, affecting profits, and continuous innovation capabilities. After entering the stage of intelligent driving, it faces a lack of core and soul. The European Union and the United States have implemented trade protection for new energy products in China, affecting exports. In the era of new energy, there are constantly new car manufacturers and cross-border car companies emerging. Traditional car companies are eager to upgrade and transform, and the pressure is doubling. At the same time, there are many foreign-funded companies like BBA that are actively recovering lost ground. We can see that a number of established car companies have quietly left the market, and some new car-making forces such as Weimar, Iways, Byton, and Polestar are also facing life and death. there will be another round of major reshuffle in the new energy vehicle and battery industry in the future. Car companies will fight price wars and it will be difficult to make profits. Power battery capacity is overcapacity, lithium prices have fallen, and industry involution has intensified. How can we survive the cold winter? The only way is to practice internal skills, increase research and development, avoid price cuts, achieve breakthroughs in brand value, and get out of the profit dilemma. At the same time, we must seize opportunities for export development. Otherwise, you will lose your position and be brutally eliminated. The golden 15 years of China's new energy vehicles are also 15 years of innovation and survival of the fittest. After the spring and autumn period, when 100 schools of thought contended, there must be a warring states period vying for the Central Plains. The automobile industry has entered the 3.0 era. In this era, the development focus of the industry has also changed from manufacturing and sales to brands and users. In the past, when people talked about high-end car brands, they would think of BBA. First, it has a history, second, its products are good, and third, its users are high-end. But in the era of smart electric vehicles, the historical value of the brand will change a lot. In the new category of smart electric vehicles, BBA is also a newcomer. What are the characteristics of high-end brands of smart electric vehicles? In fact, the focus is on products and services, with a sense of high-end and original spirit, and what the brand does can bring a historic impact to the industry. Today, a smart electric vehicle company is gradually becoming a representative of high-end brands. It has demonstrated originality in products and services, and has given us a new understanding of high-end brands in the new era. You must have heard its name NIO, Wuling. More than 10 years ago, due to the poor performance of individual brands in crash tests, Chinese cars were once ridiculed as tin cans, vulnerable to a single blow. But now it is entirely possible that Chinese cars are safer than American and German cars. In the past, we knew that Swedish cars and German cars were synonymous with car safety. Now, Chinese brands can do better. Previous safety tests mainly examined passive safety, looking at the impact on occupants after a collision. He has put a lot of effort into passive safety. For example, all very rare models are equipped with airbags in the middle of the front row as standard. These are all hard costs, which are more valuable than the comfortable configuration of the car. Those of us who often use electric vehicles know that the biggest fear is charging anxiety. Smart electric vehicles cannot do without energy supplementation. The self-built energy supplementation facilities of the brand make customers feel at ease and at ease. Battery swapping is Wuling's label and its mode. The car can be replaced in 3 minutes when it is driven into the power station, which is as convenient as refueling. Now more than 1,500 power stations have been built across the country, including 424 on expressways. By the end of this year, 2,300 will be built, of which 800 will be on the highway. Car owners do not have battery life anxiety when driving long distances. This is the value that service innovation brings to users. China's auto industry is facing unprecedented changes and opportunities. Investing in R&D, investing in charging and swapping infrastructure, etc., all take a long-term perspective and have a long-term layout. At this year's Shanghai Auto Show, overseas car companies took a tape measure to measure the length of China's new energy vehicles and the depth of industrial development. Our cars are changing lanes and overtaking, gradually leading the industry in technology and design. This is a great transformation from traditional fuel vehicles to smart electric vehicles. Changemaker. This is the core industry related to the country's destiny. I wish these innovators and hope that they will become world-class automotive leaders in the next era. For the photovoltaic and wind power industries have shifted from explosive growth to steady growth, and the distributed industry has a bright future. Our use of scenery resources is gradually improving. Since electricity is currently traded in the spot market, negative electricity prices have appeared in some areas. In this case, the peak and trough price differences of new energy electricity have been further widened. What is the essence? It means that too much new energy power cannot be effectively absorbed. In this case, only green power plus energy storage can further open up the development space. At present, the new technologies of photovoltaic and wind power continue to improve and iterate. What is the development trend of photovoltaic silicon wafers in the future? Large-scale and thin slices, such as 182 mm and 210 mm silicon wafers, are the mainstream of photovoltaics. The battery technology represented by HJT heterojunction and TOPCon has greatly promoted the improvement of photoelectric conversion efficiency. In addition, as a new battery technology, perovskite has been commercialized and has broken through the ceiling of traditional photovoltaic conversion efficiency. In the wind power market, large-scale units and lightweight materials are the new direction of future development, and will continue to go far and wide. Let me tell you a story about photovoltaics. 184 years ago, a Frenchman accidentally started an energy revolution in a wrong experiment. He found that in two platinum electrodes, the current in the light was slightly greater than the current in the dark, so photovoltaics were discovered. Another 40 years later, an American plated a layer of metal electrodes on the germanium sheet. Since then, the first photovoltaic cell was born. Although the cost is extremely high, and the conversion efficiency is only 1%, he made a bold statement: this power generation panel will soon be able to compete with coal power. In that era, they were aliens in people's eyes. You think, how can a small electrode plate compete with coal electricity? But those who laughed at him must have never imagined that today, 140 years later, photovoltaics have led green electricity and revolutionized the traditional energy system. What does this story tell us? For most people, the development of the industry will go through 4 stages: invisible, despised, incomprehensible, too late. Now, photovoltaics has a new development direction, which is distributed photovoltaics and building integrated photovoltaics. This emerging field is booming in China and has great potential. Last year, the top 8 global PV companies were all Chinese companies, led by LONGi Green Energy in Xi'an. 1 out of every 3 silicon wafers in the world is produced by LONGi, and 1 out of every 5 components is produced by LONGi. Since 2021, LONGi has broken the world record for photovoltaic conversion efficiency 14 times in a row. In November last year, it even broke Japan's 5-year record, winning glory for the country. I once said that not investing in new energy now is equivalent to not buying a house 20 years ago. Investing in new energy means investing in the new energy industry and engaging in the new energy business. So how can an ordinary enterprise, or even an ordinary person, enjoy the dividends in the new energy revolution? All the guests at the scene put a bottle of zero-carbon water at hand. Why is it called zero-carbon water? Because its production process uses non-polluting green electricity. This is drinking water produced by Shandong Pula Sea Mineral Water Factory, which comes from 500 meters underground in Jinan and has zero pollution. On the roof of the water plant, a 2.4 megawatt LONGi photovoltaic power station is installed, which generates 2.6 million kilowatt hours per year, which can meet more than 30% of the water plant's electricity demand. The power station earns 2.2 million yuan, and the investment cost can be recovered in less than 5 years, and the annual emission reduction is equivalent to planting 12,000 trees, contributing to green development. Many people also ask, as ordinary people, how to devote themselves to new energy. Du Fei is a 68-year-old farmer. His children work outside the home and he lives with his wife. He lives in Fang Village, Tongchuan, Shaanxi Province, which is a base of the Red Revolution. The per capita annual income is 13,000 yuan. In this place, photovoltaics has become a good choice for rural revitalization. At first, the villagers were full of doubts about this new model, and it was not a small amount to spend 70,000 to 80,000 yuan at once. In this context, the Tongchuan government helped the village committee to set up a collective company, with financing provided by Chang'an Bank, LONGi providing the sunflower household photovoltaic solution, and the expansion and grid connection of the state grid. In this way, farmers can enjoy power generation benefits with zero investment and no loans. In less than a week, more than 300 villagers actively participated in the installation, and the annual power generation income of each household with a roof area of more than 100 square meters can reach 3,000 yuan. This has increased the annual income of Du Fei and his wife by nearly 15%, and greatly improved their happiness in life. The revitalization of photovoltaic villages allows ordinary people to easily enjoy the dividends of new energy. This project will eventually build 6 megawatts of distributed photovoltaics for 300 households in Fang Village with an annual power generation of 7.91 million kilowatt-hour and an annual income of 2.81 million yuan. The generated green electricity basically offsets the daily carbon emissions of the whole village, reducing emissions by 5,300 tons per year, which is equivalent to planting 26,000 trees. Make Fang Village a real zero-carbon village. At the same time, the villagers are expected to receive a steady stream of carbon sequestration income, with an average annual income of 400,000 yuan. This small mountain village on the Huaibei Plateau can earn 96.15 million yuan in 30 years, with an average annual income of 3.2 million yuan, relying solely on photovoltaic power plants. Not investing in photovoltaic power plants is equivalent to not buying a house 20 years ago. Under the leadership of the Tongchuan government, Longji's new model of rural revitalization has brought real benefits to the common people. Now building integrated photovoltaics and new green building materials have many application fields, including rooftop photovoltaics, ground photovoltaics, curtain wall photovoltaics, carport photovoltaics, etc. 5 new technologies and new industries in the field of new energy are constantly emerging. After power batteries and new energy vehicles, new opportunities are brewing in energy storage, hydrogen energy, intelligent driving, and carbon trading. In the past few years, China's power battery industry has grown explosively, driving the trillion-level track in the upstream and downstream. China accounts for 6 of the world's top 10 power battery companies, and its production capacity accounts for at least 60% of the world's total. Chinese companies have taken the lead in overtaking on corners. The new energy industry in the future is gestating opportunities for emerging industries such as hydrogen energy, energy storage, and carbon trading. At the same time, it has also driven new infrastructure and created a new engine for the Chinese economy, including charging piles, power stations, and hydrogen pipelines. In 2023, relatively mature new energy tracks such as new energy vehicles and power batteries are being reshuffled, and new trillion-level tracks such as hydrogen energy, energy storage, and intelligent driving are seeking breakthroughs and heading towards dawn. Marketization begins to accelerate, technology continues to mature, application scenarios begin to emerge, and major opportunities will explode. For hydrogen energy, the scale of green hydrogen produced by electrolysis of water in the upstream continues to double, the new infrastructure for hydrogen energy in the midstream has begun, and liquid hydrogen and gas hydrogen pipelines are also developing vigorously. Energy storage, installed capacity has increased significantly, and storage allocation and subsidy policies will be the focus in the future. Intelligent driving, making cars more usable, has now entered a critical period of high-level L3 and above on the road. 2023 to 2024 is a turning point for the new energy industry. The new energy industry will become more market-oriented and globalized, and China's new energy companies should go global in a group. Our new energy industry should not be obsessed with production capacity wars and price wars. It must have excellent technology, continue to overtake cars in curves, and export China's new energy to the world. This kind of output is not only the output of production capacity represented by new energy vehicles, photovoltaics, and batteries, but also the output of Chinese new energy brands, word of mouth, and technology. 7. Entrepreneurship has played an important role in the development of China's new energy industry. The 3 founders of LONGI Green Energy, Li Jianqiu, Li Chunan, and Zhong Baishen, are from Henan and are also alumni of Lanzhou University. In 2006, they all chose the track of new energy, and now they are the global leader in photovoltaics. Mr. Lu Hanyuan of Tongwei Group used to raise fish, and later started to make fish feed, and became a fish feed leader. However, he switched to polysilicon in 2006, and now he has become the world's silicon king. In 2006, new energy companies such as Longji and Tongwei entered the new energy track at the same time. Although their entrepreneurship has not been smooth sailing, it can be said that there are twists and turns, but they dare to persist and make bets at critical points. They embody a strong entrepreneurial spirit. The moment they decided to gamble, they not only changed their personal destiny, but also changed the destiny of the entire industry. They showed the world the spiritual power of Chinese new energy entrepreneurs. These new energy companies, while helping the world's low-carbon development, have realized the development and growth of China's new energy industry. 5th opportunity. Energy storage, hydrogen energy, and intelligent driving are on the eve of explosion, and the next super outlet will be born. The dual carbon strategy will build a new energy system. Green power plus energy storage plus distributed will rewrite the energy pattern. Hydrogen energy will become the cleanest energy solution for mankind, and the arrival of intelligent driving will bring revolution to human society and everyone's life sexual change. Since 2019, two major events have occurred in the global energy market. One is that the global traditional energy system is overwhelmed. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine in 2022 triggered the European energy crisis. The price of electricity in France exceeds €1 per kilowatt-hour. Electricity consumption is generally in the range of 80 cents to €1. The price of electricity in France is nearly 10 times that of China. Geopolitical turmoil, energy problems are emerging, and the traditional energy system is being impacted, troubling the world. The second thing is the restructuring of the global energy system. Explosive growth of new energy investment. In 2022, the global investment in the energy field will be about $2.8 trillion, and $1.7 trillion will flow to clean energy, that is, 60% will flow to new energy. China is ahead of the world in restructuring the energy system. By 2022, the newly installed capacity of green power will exceed that of coal power. The new installed capacity of wind power and photovoltaic power generation exceeded 120 million kilowatts, and the total amount of wind power and photovoltaic power generation exceeded 1 trillion kilowatt-hours for the first time, an increase of 21% over 2021, accounting for 13.8% of the electricity consumption of the whole society. According to the speed, we have a high probability of completing the carbon peak ahead of schedule. In the future, the proportion of new energy and green electricity will continue to increase. By 2030, the total installed capacity of wind power and solar power in my country will be more than 1.2 billion kilowatts. By 2060, the penetration rate of green power in my country is expected to exceed 80%. In the next 10 years, the compound growth rate of demand for wind power and photovoltaic power generation will reach more than 20%. At the same time, new energy power generation has brought new challenges, that is, the amount of curtailed wind and light has increased significantly. In 2022, Eastern Mongolia, where wind curtailment is the most serious, will lose more than 10% of wind power, and the solar curtailment rate in Tibet will reach 20%. The imbalance between power supply and demand is becoming more and more prominent. Because this new type of power generation is fluctuating and intermittent, it is more difficult to regulate and use than traditional power generation. To solve this problem, energy storage is the key, and green electricity must be consumed in a reasonable and orderly manner. One of the new trillion new energy tracks, energy storage. Energy storage is a large capacity version of the power bank, which can be charged during low power consumption and discharged during peak power consumption. The development of energy storage technology is a powerful guarantee for the consumption of new energy and green electricity. The current new energy system, including new energy vehicles, is not the ultimate solution, and may even contain the concept of pseudo-new energy, mainly because part of the electricity is still coal electricity, and using such high-carbon electricity to drive trams on the road is only a partial realization. The zero carbon of the link. Not really zero carbon. Imagine if all the electricity generated by photovoltaic and wind power is used by downstream factories and automobiles, so that it can be called zero carbon in the whole life cycle. Green electricity can be fully absorbed by energy storage, and green electricity such as wind power and photovoltaics is expected to replace coal-fired power generation, and energy storage can also greatly alleviate the impact of fluctuating green electricity on the grid system. Since 2022, China's multi-region allocation and storage policy has been accelerated. It is generally required to allocate more than 10% of storage, that is, every installation of photovoltaic panels or wind power piles that can generate 10 kilowatt-hour of electricity must be equipped with facilities that can store 1 kilowatt-hour of electricity. Xinjiang, Tibet, Shandong, and Inner Mongolia, which are rich in scenery and resources, have become the focus of allocation and storage, with a proportion of more than 20%. Thousands of sales are competing for the energy storage technology route. In addition to the mature lithium battery energy storage, there are also recently popular sodium-ion energy storage, liquid flow batteries, compressed air, and key technologies such as flywheel energy storage, gravity energy storage, and hydrogen energy storage. Route. Lithium battery technology has become the mainstream, and emerging energy storage technologies such as vanadium flow and sodium ions are developing rapidly. According to the National Guiding Opinions on Accelerating the Development of New Energy Storage, by 2025, the installed capacity of new energy storage will exceed 30 GW, and by 2030, the installed capacity of new energy storage will exceed 200 GW. According to forecasts, China's energy storage market will start an explosive growth curve in 2023, and the investment space is expected to exceed 1 trillion yuan. The second part of the new energy new trillion track is hydrogen energy. Hydrogen energy will be the largest clean energy in the 21st century, with huge demand and huge space, and it is an important way to realize the dual carbon strategy. Hydrogen energy is a new independent energy system. In the future, the combination of green electricity plus green hydrogen will bring about a new energy revolution. In 2022, 507 MW of hydrogen fuel cell systems will be installed, an increase of 190%. From January to May this year, our bidding for hydrogen production equipment has reached 880 megawatts, exceeding the amount for the whole year of 2022. Emerging hydrogen energy companies have sprung up like mushrooms after rain. There are large energy companies such as Sinopec that have deployed the upstream and downstream of the hydrogen energy industry, and the leading photovoltaic company LONGi Green Energy has opened a second growth curve through the deployment of hydrogen energy. To vigorously develop hydrogen energy, it is necessary to moderately carry out advanced hydrogen energy infrastructure. Hydrogen infrastructure is an important new infrastructure. It will help expand domestic demand and stimulate investment in the short term, and will help foster new economies, new technologies, and new industries in the long run, and build a new engine for China's economy. The development of hydrogen energy has three starting points. The first is large-scale investment in the storage and transportation of green hydrogen, hydrogen transfer from west to east. In areas rich in wind and light resources, a large amount of green electricity in the three north regions is used to prepare green hydrogen, and then hydrogen and liquid hydrogen pipelines are laid to transport low-cost green hydrogen to eastern energy consumption areas on a large scale. One is to solve the problem of abandoning wind and light for new energy in the three norths, and the other is to quickly reduce the cost of using hydrogen in the eastern coastal areas. Pipeline transportation of hydrogen has greatly reduced our cost of using hydrogen. In April this year, the construction of the pure hydrogen pipeline from Ulanqab to Beijing Yantian was launched. This is a project of extraordinary significance. It is China's first long-distance pure hydrogen transportation pipeline with a total length of more than 400 kilometers. Deliver. The second starting point is to build hydrogen refueling stations. Just like the era of fuel vehicles, it relies on gas stations everywhere. The explosive growth of new energy vehicles also relies on the accelerated construction of charging piles and battery swapping stations. China has carried out large-scale and advanced charging pile construction. At the beginning of 2023, the number of new energy vehicles in China will exceed 13 million, and the number of charging piles will exceed 5.2 million. It is an order of magnitude away from Europe and the United States, which is also the key to our ability to overtake in curves in the new energy era. For the same reason, only more hydrogen refueling stations can guarantee the on-road of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. The third is the regulation of hydrogen management. Managed hydrogen is actually a very safe energy source. More than 100 years ago, when the internal combustion engine came out, petroleum was also a hazardous chemical. But today, fuel management is very mature. Therefore, the security of energy is not in itself, but in management norms. In order for hydrogen energy vehicles to be on the road, management must be standardized, and fuel vehicles and lithium battery vehicles must be on the same road. Stop talking about hydrogen discoloration and treat hydrogen from a dangerous chemical to a normal new energy source. Not investing in energy storage and hydrogen energy now is like not investing in lithium batteries 5 years ago. Hydrogen energy will become the key to the new energy system in the future. The third part of the new energy new trillion track is intelligent driving. The era of software-defined cars is coming, and after electrification, look at intelligence. The era of intelligent driving has brought revolutionary changes to society and everyone's life. For the intelligent driving industry to develop and mature, it is inseparable from the construction of intelligent transportation, the scale effect and the rapid iteration of technology, so as to truly realize the transformation from single vehicle intelligence to vehicle road coordination. If intelligent driving is to be promoted on a large scale, there are two prerequisites, which are also major opportunities. The first is the new infrastructure related to intelligent driving. The new digital infrastructure includes building a digital base for intelligent driving, building an intelligent engine, such as high-precision maps, 5G cloud-based driving, and V2X car-connected everything system. The upgrading of traditional road infrastructure includes transforming traditional streetlights on traditional roads into smart streetlights for smart roads, and laying new infrastructure for automatic driving. The second prerequisite is the rapid cost reduction and efficiency increase of the industry. The realization of intelligent driving essentially depends on the coordinated development of the three core systems of perception, decision-making, and execution. The perception layer is like the five sense organs of a person, sensing the environment and collecting data. The decision-making layer is like the brain, processing data and outputting instructions. The execution layer is like the limbs, executing intelligent driving instructions. Many Chinese automakers and technology companies are laying out this big track, from sensors to LiDAR, from onboard chips to large models for training. The core links of perception, decision-making, and execution are being replaced by localization rapidly. For example, LiDAR, a key component to achieve high-level autonomous driving, has been localized, and the assembly cost of a single piece has dropped from nearly 100,000 in the past to several thousand yuan now. The independent brand assembly of LiDAR is also at the forefront of the world. The current challenge is mainly chip autonomy. China needs to cultivate its own NVIDIA. Mobile phone chips have been stuck in the past, but in the era of intelligent driving, we must avoid similar situations and solve the bottleneck problem. In the era of new energy vehicles, the first half focuses on electrification, and the second half focuses on intelligence. In 2022, the revenue of my country's automobile manufacturing industry will be 9.3 trillion yuan, the scale of the intelligent driving industry will be 2.1 trillion yuan, and the L2 penetration rate will only be 29%. In the future, high-level autonomous driving will continue to infiltrate, especially at the level above L3, which has a larger space. This is a trillion-level big track. Automobile intelligence is destined to rewrite many industries, and a number of subdivided tracks will emerge, including Internet of Vehicles, vehicle road coordination, shared travel, unmanned bus systems, unmanned port logistics, and intelligent transportation operations. To give an example, high-speed navigator battery replacement. Smart electric vehicles can autonomously enter the service area from the expressway to change batteries, without taking over the whole process, and drive out of the service area after automatic cruise and fully automatic battery replacement. People can even park their cars near the battery swapping station, and call the car over to automatically swap batteries through the LiDAR. It is expected that in the second half of the year, the high-speed pilot battery replacement will gradually cover the Wulai Power Station in the National High-Speed Service Area, which is the new infrastructure in the era of smart travel. If the past 5 years have been a blowout period for new energy vehicles and lithium batteries, then in the future, from electrification to intelligence, from coal power to green power plus energy storage, from lithium batteries to hydrogen energy batteries, I am optimistic about energy storage and hydrogen. There are 3 trillion level new tracks of energy and intelligent driving. What? Because the market space of these 3 major tracks is vast, in line with the general trend of industry development, but there are still technical bottlenecks that need to be broken through. The industry has not yet been commercialized on a large scale, and it is at dawn. The industry structure has not yet been formed, and every player has an opportunity. Sixth opportunity. Carbon footprint, carbon trading, and carbon market are creating huge opportunities while realizing low carbon. Carbon capture, carbon sequestration, and carbon utilization are creating new business models while realizing technological carbon reduction. Arrival. On September 22, 2020, China solemnly made a dual carbon commitment to the world. We will achieve carbon peaking by 2030 and carbon neutrality by 2060. In the future, we are faced with a new opportunity. Carbon assets, like your real estate and equity assets, will be very important in the future. How to seize the opportunities brought by low carbon development. 6 directions. Opportunity 1, carbon footprint. In the future, we need to calculate the carbon emissions of all links of our enterprises and products, that is, whole life cycle carbon emissions, including raw material procurement, technology development, production and operation, marketing, etc., covering the entire industrial chain from production to consumption. By 2022, 12 countries and regions have already enacted legislation requiring the implementation of a carbon labeling system, and more companies have joined the carbon labeling ecology. In the future, products without carbon labels will not be able to enter the international market. Opportunity 2, carbon trading. The carbon market trades carbon emission quotas, and carbon trading is a market-based approach that is more flexible than carbon tax policies. We must believe in the power of the market, which is the most effective way to allocate resources. Carbon trading can not only realize the control of the total amount of social carbon emissions, but also reduce the cost of social emission reduction. Opportunity 3, Carbon Assets. My country's carbon trading market has just started, and there is a big gap between the carbon price level and the international carbon price. Now the carbon price in the EU is about 80 euros/ton, equivalent to about 600 yuan/ton in RMB, while in China it is more than 50 yuan/ton, which is less than 1/10 of that in Europe. There is a lot of room for China's carbon price to rise. The European Union achieved its carbon emission peak in 1990, and began to build a carbon trading market in 2005. My country has not yet reached its carbon emission peak, and the carbon trading market has just been established. Our development space is very broad. In the future, the pricing of carbon assets will be more reasonable, and your carbon assets will be more valuable. This can motivate more companies to incorporate emission reduction into their decision-making and ultimately implement emission reduction actions. Opportunity 4, Carbon Finance. In recent years, many securities companies and banks have entered the carbon trading market, and various carbon financial products have been born, such as carbon options, carbon futures, etc. In the future, carbon asset management companies will also appear. Carbon finance can enable enterprises to make good use of carbon assets and carbon financing, and enhance the enthusiasm of enterprises to participate in the carbon market. Opportunity 5, Carbon Capture, Carbon Utilization and Carbon Storage. Why capture carbon for reuse? The main reason is that some fields cannot be completely zero carbon, such as petroleum refining and petrochemical industry, which use petroleum as a raw material and still generate carbon dioxide emissions. Therefore, to achieve carbon neutrality, it is necessary to change the energy consumption structure and scientifically fix carbon. Carbon sequestration is to fix the carbon dioxide that has to be emitted with various artificial measures. This is carbon capture, utilization and storage, the most effective and direct way to reduce carbon. For future carbon utilization and sequestration, carbon dioxide is stored underground or on the seabed, and there will be a carbon reserve pool. Carbon can be extracted from the reserve pool for use in the future. This strengthens the economics of carbon dioxide, the artificial carbon cycle. The International Energy Agency estimates that by 2060, carbon capture, utilization and storage can reduce 1.4 billion tons of carbon emissions per year. Opportunity 6, the digital and intelligent era of energy is coming. Energy digitalization has two major values. One is platform value. Similar to the e-commerce trading system provided by the internet platform, both buyers and sellers of energy trade on it, and the matching efficiency is greatly improved. Both parties can trade energy on the digital platform. To use a vivid metaphor, it is like the smart AI in our power grid and the smart housekeeper in energy, which can give early warning of future power consumption and allocate the best power supply ratio at the best time. The second is product value. For example, electric vehicles can reverse charge the grid, which is what we call V2G. Vehicles supply power to the grid, which can stabilize the grid and cut peaks and fill valleys. New energy vehicles are like huge mobile charging sockets, which can realize two-way charging interaction with the grid, electrical appliances, buildings, and even cars. With the addition of energy digitization, car batteries are no longer simply storage devices, but also become discharge devices, which can make money for car owners. The seventh opportunity. The major turning point of the global economy often brews a new round of technological and industrial revolution. We are standing at the starting point of a new cycle. Most unicorns are born in hard technology, new energy, new media, big health, digital economy, artificial intelligence, and other fields. Investing is investing in the future. Where the future is, there are opportunities. In 2023, the overall size of China's unicorns will exceed 13 trillion, up from 9.4 trillion last year. Now the number of unicorns exceeds 500, an increase of 42%, almost doubling. Unicorn enterprises are the main force in opening up new fields and new tracks, and they also represent future opportunities and directions. So, where are the future opportunities? Focus on hard technology, new energy, big health, new media, digital economy, and artificial intelligence. The top 3 unicorns are hard technology, new energy, and big health, with 110, 70, and 63 unicorns, respectively. The top 3 unicorn valuations are new media, hard technology, and digital economy, with total valuations of 2.6 trillion, 1.8 trillion, and 1.7 trillion, respectively. First, the hard technology track ushered in an explosion. Many hardware technology unicorns are engaged in semiconductors, robots, new materials, intelligent hardware, drones, and aerospace communications. In 2023, both the number and valuation of hard technology unicorns will increase, with 110 unicorns and a valuation of 1.8 trillion yuan. National policies support the hard technology track. For example, the registration system has been implemented, and the Science and Technology Innovation Board supports the listing of hard technology companies. These hard tech unicorns are gradually solving the stuck neck problem formed since the trade friction, and invisible champions have emerged in some subdivided tracks, such as Shanghai Super Silicon Semiconductor, DJI, Changzhen Storage, involving semiconductors, high-end intelligent manufacturing hardware such as drones, memory chips, and integrated circuits are valued at RMB 127.3 billion, RMB 100 billion, RMB 61.6 billion, and RMB 58.4 billion, respectively. Second, the new energy field is one of the hottest track fields. Lithium batteries, new energy vehicles, photovoltaics, and wind power are relatively mature tracks, and many unicorns with remarkable growth have emerged, such as GACAN, Envision Energy, and Honeycomb Energy. Unicorns in hydrogen energy, energy storage, and intelligent driving are also emerging in the new trillion-dollar track, with rising valuations, huge space, and huge potential. From battery equipment to hydrogenation, hydrogen energy materials, etc., a complete industrial chain has been built. In the field of energy storage, more than 90% of the products of some unicorn enterprises are sold overseas. The 3 new types of new energy represent the new competitiveness of China's exports. Third, the era when content is king is coming, with the rise of new media, and the integration of new content, new traffic, new channels, and new e-commerce. The total valuation of new media unicorns reached 2.6 trillion yuan. The ultimate meaning of consumption lies in how to live a fulfilling life. People pay more and more attention to the quality of spiritual life, and the demand for cultural consumption is gradually escalating, including short videos, live streaming, drama series, variety shows, digital music, movies. Online China's pan-media market, including literature and animation, has reached trillions. New media leads the transformation of consumption, helps brands get out of circles, and helps upgrade communication. Many of the content we read now are pushed to you through big data, AI, and algorithms. The main focus is intelligence and precision. In addition, the current new media uses COL and KOC opinion leaders to endorse, do community marketing, and cross-border marketing. This is a new direction. Short video delivery, live broadcast e-commerce, strong content interaction, exert efficient communication power, affect more consumers, and quickly build brand awareness. Content differentiation will be the traffic password in the future, and the content that can make everyone empathize will have the longest life cycle. Zeping Macro has long-term cooperation with many excellent domestic brands such as Pihe and 47 Degrees North Latitude. Zeping Macro has benefited from the era of online new media, with 35 million subscriptions on the whole network, and is committed to being warm, sentimental, and responsible. Research, using knowledge to promote social progress. Be righteous and stick to doing the right thing in the long run. Fourth, with the improvement of people's living standards and the arrival of an aging society, big health is the most worthy of long-term attention in the future. There are 300 million people over the age of 65 in my country, accounting for 22% of the total population, and the population is aging. Chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and tumors are high in the elderly group, and there is a great demand for medical and medical resources. In recent years, there is a trend of younger people with chronic diseases. The big health market has great potential, such as innovative drugs and medical devices. Brewing new opportunities with big data and artificial intelligence diagnosis and treatment. A good doctor and a good surgeon, his accumulated decades of experience are very valuable assets. If an artificial intelligence model can be formed, it will be a great boon to patients, so that every patient can get the best medical diagnosis. Surgical robots are advancing rapidly. The instrument has its sensitivity and high precision, which can assist doctors very well. In the future, our surgery may be done by robots. Laparoscopic surgery robots can perform liver surgery, dental robots can implant teeth, surgical robots can automatically identify the location of incisions, and robotic arms can help patients stop bleeding and suture, etc. Internet medical care ushered in great development. Solve the difficulties of traditional offline medical treatment and queuing. Chain health management is promising. Chain health management includes health checkup, offline maintenance, offline nursing, etc., to achieve the purpose of preventing disease and improving health quality. Fifth, the digital economy. Digital online education, digital new energy, digital smart city, digital life service, digital enterprise management, many digital economic tracks, many unicorns, and large space. We can see that a large number of unicorns have gathered in the four major cities of Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Hangzhou, with a total valuation of more than 1 trillion yuan, accounting for more than 73% of the total. Hangzhou unicorns have the highest average valuation, and Guangzhou unicorns are growing fast. Chime, a global cross-border e-commerce unicorn company, is located in Guangzhou. In order to cultivate cross-border e-commerce companies, Guangzhou provides support for land use, settlement, and children's schooling for cross-border e-commerce platform companies with an annual transaction volume of more than 3 billion yuan. Suzhou, Luxi, Changzhou, Zhuhai, and other Yangtze River Delta and Pearl River Delta cities are also actively cultivating their own unicorn advantageous enterprises and industries. Suzhou, for example, regards innovation driven as a city strategy, introduces a policy of rewarding unicorn enterprises, and strives to cultivate unicorns in the digital economy, semiconductors, new energy, and medical health. Eighth opportunity. Consumption upgrades from housing to health and beauty, life medicine, and medical beauty technology are ushering in explosive growth, and will become a fast-rising big track. New technologies and new business models will rewrite the industry structure. Those who win online win the world. Live e-commerce, private domain operations, etc. are popular. Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory was put forward by the American psychologist Maslow in The Theory of Human Motivation in 1943, which to a certain extent reflects the common laws of human behavior and psychological activities. This theory divides human needs into 5 levels from low to high like a ladder, namely 1. Physiological needs, the most basic requirements for maintaining one's own survival, including clothing, food, housing, transportation, etc. 2. Safety requirements, the needs to protect their own safety and property rights. 3. Social needs, including emotional needs and needs to belong to groups. 4. Respect needs, including self-respect and being respected by others. 5. Self-realization, realize personal ideals and aspirations, and develop personal abilities. The first 3 belong to low-level needs, and the needs are endless, while the latter 2 belong to high-level needs, and the needs are endless. After the low-level needs are basically satisfied, the motivational effect will be reduced, and the high-level needs will replace it as the main reason for promoting behavior. China has a round of consumption upgrades every 10 to 20 years. Food and clothing in the 1980s, durable goods in the 1990s, and housing and transportation consumption upgrades since 2000. Each round of consumption upgrades always brings industrial waves and investment opportunities. After having a car and a house, buying health, beauty, and happiness are the biggest needs. Life medicine and medical beauty technology are ushering in explosive growth, and are becoming a fast-rising big track. Human beings have endless needs for health and beauty. New technologies and new business models rewrite the industry structure. As the main consumer groups go online, those who get online win the world, and live broadcast e-commerce and private domain operations are all the rage. The era of real estate development is coming to an end. When a whale falls, everything is born. I make a bold prediction that the next 20 years will belong to 8 beautiful industries, namely, new infrastructure, new energy, new national tide, new consumption, digital economy, life economy, silver-haired economy, equity economy. Ninth opportunity. The allocation of large-scale assets is to respect economic laws and the unity of knowledge and action. The economic cycle always starts from recovery, overheating, stagflation, and recession. Stocks, commodities, cash, and bonds outperform the general trend in turn. The stock market is a barometer of currency in the short term and a barometer of the economy in the long term. The reshuffle of traditional industries is the king, and new great companies will be born on the new track. Investment is essentially the realization of cognition. If you master the rules, things will become simple, and the rest is focus and self-discipline. For the allocation of large categories of assets, there are 8 rules to share with you. 1. In the past 40 years, the average annual growth rate of China's broad money supply M2 has exceeded 15%. In 2020, M2 has increased by 20 times compared with 1998 and 418 times compared with 1985. From the performance of various asset prices, the yields of most industrial products, commodities, bonds, and bank wealth management have significantly underperformed the growth rate of money, and only a few first and second tier land prices, core assets in the stock market, medical education, etc. Service products and other yields outperformed. 2. After human society enters the era of credit currency, the growth rate of currency generally exceeds the economic growth rate. Therefore, investment and asset allocation are important ways to achieve wealth growth. The stock market, housing market, and inflation are all monetary phenomena in essence. 3. Real estate depends on population in the long term, land in the medium term, and finance in the short term. Buying a house follows the flow of the population. 4. The investment clock is also applicable in China. At different stages of the economic cycle, stocks, commodities, cash, and bonds outperform the general trend in turn. Buy stocks when the economy is recovering, buy commodities when the economy is overheating, and keep cash when the economy is stagnant. Buy bonds during a recession, and step on the rhythm of the investment clock. 5. Gold in troubled times, antiques in prosperous times. Buy gold during times of high currency growth, rising prices, and rising risk aversion sentiment. Gold is naturally anti-inflation due to its scarcity, otherwise sell gold. 6. The big oil game. In the long run, the relationship between supply and demand is the most important determinant of crude oil prices. In the short term, risk events impact the supply and demand of crude oil, causing large fluctuations in oil prices in the short term. 7. The essence of the exchange rate is the external performance of a country's economic strength. Therefore, the exchange rate of countries with strong economic growth appreciates, and vice versa. 8. Bull stocks are concentrated in industries that do not make money hard, with deep moats, broad market space, and high industry concentration. After 20 years of economic research and investment practice, I have summed up 7 laws of practical economics for stock investment, and share with you. 1. Life requires great wisdom. Choice is better than hard work. Effort is important, but in the right direction. Life, men are afraid of choosing the wrong career, women are afraid of marrying the wrong man. Investment, snowball, long slopes and thick snow, track, large market space, strong growth potential, standing on the wind, pigs can fly. Enterprise, don't use tactical diligence to cover strategic laziness. 2. The stock market is a barometer of currency in the short term and a barometer of the economy in the long term. When the economy is poor and the currency is loose, the stock market is bullish. When the economy is hot and the currency is tight, the stock market is bearish. Remember this key point: you can seize the bull market and escape the bear market. However, most people are overly pessimistic when the economy is bad and miss the start of the bull market. They are overly optimistic when the economy is booming and ignore the risk of bulls turning bears. Easier said than done. Can you do it? 3. On a philosophical level, investing in stocks is inherently anti-human. Buffett said, "Be greedy when others are panicky, and panic when others are greedy." The stock market is always reborn in despair, rising in controversy, and crashing in carnival. Therefore, we have to advance in the artillery fire and retreat in the fireworks. The ancients pointed out very long ago that things must be reversed when they are extreme, and whether they are extreme or not. From a philosophical perspective, many periodic activities of human beings have similar laws, including economic cycles, stock market cycles, and so on. 4. There are hundreds of industries in the national economy and thousands of listed companies. In fact, there are mainly 3 types: hard work without making money, hard work with money, and hard work without hard work. So, what types of industries have big bull stocks? Making money is not hard. It is nothing more than an industry with a high moat, obvious technical barriers, brand advantages, and excellent management. The stock market is a barometer of the economy in the long run. The major transformation of the economic structure has brought about structural bulls and bears in the stock market. The reshuffle of traditional industries is the king, and the rapid rise of new tracks will give birth to new great companies. 5. The bull market of technology stocks all broke out in the early stage of the technological revolution. Excess liquidity and investor enthusiasm pushed up the stock market bubble, liquidity tightening, accounting scandals, lower than expected performance, and excessive issuance caused the bubble to burst. However, after the bull market of technology stocks is over, there will always be a group of great companies born. 6. When the stock market is highly bubbled, the tightening of monetary policy is the direct cause of bursting the bubble. If there are too many leveraged transactions in the market, it may lead to a stock market crash. The effect of the government's bailout depends on whether it can resolutely and vigorously inject liquidity into the market. 7. In the past, China's stock market experienced booms and bears, and skyrocketed and plummeted. The main reason was that there was room for reform in the market's legal environment, investor structure, and market supply and demand adjustment mechanism. In the future, if the rule of law is practiced, strict supervision is implemented, the reform of the registration system is promoted, institutional investors are developed, and the market is respected, it is expected to change the genes of A-shares and realize slow growth. 10th opportunity. The era of real estate development has come to an end, urbanization has entered the second half, the population has gathered in the metropolitan area, and urban agglomerations have risen. Real estate depends on population in the long run, and people follow the flow of people to buy houses, and regional differentiation will become increasingly obvious. Can the house still be bought? Which areas have potential? Why have housing prices increased over the past 20 years? Why is there an unprecedented major adjustment in the real estate market in 2021 to 2023? What is the future trend? In the past 2 decades, China's real estate industry has experienced rapid development, with housing market value increasing nearly 20 times and housing prices generally rising. In the future, the era of large-scale real estate development is coming to an end, entering a new development stage of total balance and regional differentiation. The crowd peaked and fell back, etc. The future trend of China's real estate can be summarized as follows: the advent of the era of differentiation, urban agglomeration of metropolitan areas, industry plus location is king, transformation of pure development real estate enterprises, improvement of demand-oriented, multi-level housing supply system. In the future, the population flow will become more and more urban agglomeration in the metropolitan area, and most cities will have outflow of population and housing surplus. We predict that 70% of China's cities will have housing surplus in the future, and only more than 20% of urban housing has demand and potential. The era of large-scale development with rising housing prices is over, and the real estate market in cities is becoming increasingly differentiated. Industry plus location is king, and urban planning and development create location. The supply-side deleveraging policy promotes the clearing of the industry transforms to high quality, and the remaining ones are king. Leading real estate companies will own most of the market, and many pure development real estate companies will disappear, transforming to a new development model of simultaneous rental and purchase. In the era of improvement, product strength will become the core competitiveness. The demand for housing has been upgraded from is it available to is it good or not, and large-scale, high-quality, and high-quality properties will become more and more popular and recognized by home buyers. The housing system with multi-subject supply, multi-channel guarantee, and simultaneous rental and purchase is the general trend. In the future housing supply system, low incomes rely on security, middle incomes are supported, and high incomes rely on the market. Real estate depends on population in the long term, land in the medium term, and finance in the short term. Population migration will go through the stages of migration from low-income areas to high-income areas, from rural areas and small and medium-sized cities to first and second-tier cities and metropolitan areas. Data on interprovincial population migration in China shows that the population continues to gather in metropolitan areas such as Shenzhen and Shanghai, as well as urban clusters in the Pearl River Delta and Yangtze River Delta, while regions such as the Northeast and West have a single industrial structure, showing a trend of population outflow. It is estimated that about 80% of China's 130 million new urban population will be distributed in 19 urban agglomerations in the future, of which about 60% will be distributed in 7 major urban agglomerations including the Yangtze River Delta and the Pearl River Delta. Population is the basis of all activities. In recent years, talents with university and master's degrees or above have been gathering in eastern cities, and the talent gathering capacity of the Yangtze River Delta and Pearl River Delta urban agglomerations has gradually increased. According to data jointly released by Zeping Macro and Xiaopin, from 2017 to 2021, the net talent inflow rate in the eastern region will increase from 6.2% to 12.9%, while the central, western, and northeastern regions will continue to have a net outflow of talent. The net talent inflow rate in the Yangtze River Delta and Pearl River Delta urban agglomerations will increase from 4.6% and 2% to 7.4%, 4.1%. Since 2017, there has been a war for talents in various places. The competition for urban talents has gradually escalated, and talent policies have been continuously optimized, including relaxing the conditions for settlement and providing start-up subsidies. Attracting and retaining talents has become an important means for cities to improve their overall strength. The housing system determines the performance of the real estate market. The high housing prices in the UK and Hong Kong are mainly due to excessive currency issuance and insufficient land supply. The real estate bubble crisis in the United States and Japan is mainly due to excessive currency issuance. The long-term stability of real estate in Germany and Singapore is mainly due to currency control and development leasing. If China wants to realize the long-term stable and healthy development of the real estate market, it should speed up the construction of a new real estate model with the core of urban agglomeration strategy, man-land linkage, currency control, real estate tax, and simultaneous development of rent and purchase. The first is to promote the urban agglomeration strategy in the metropolitan area. The second is to focus on the increase in the permanent population, reform the linkage between people and optimize land supply. The third is to maintain the long-term stability of monetary policy and real estate financial policy. The fourth is to steadily promote the pilot project of real estate tax. Fifth, both renting and purchasing will be promoted, and appropriate subsidies will be given to low-income families and fresh graduates for their rental expenses. Conclusion. Persist in doing the right thing for a long time, and it will eventually bear fruit. Ladies and gentlemen, today we look forward to 10 new opportunities for the Chinese economy. I hope that today's speech will help you see the trend of the times and grasp the opportunities in the future. With righteous mind and righteous thoughts, insist on doing the long-term correct thing, and it will eventually blossom and bear fruit. Finally, let us summarize the top 10 new opportunities for the Chinese economy. The first great opportunity: the world will eventually belong to rational optimists. Pessimists are right, optimists move forward, pessimists see difficulties, optimists see opportunities. This is a philosophical proposition. If you want to seize for future opportunities, you must first be an optimist, because only optimistic people will actively embrace the future. The second biggest opportunity: China's economic prosperity and development is the biggest opportunity. The deep logic of economic operation is changing. Housing to live in, not speculation, has prevented housing prices from rising forever, and supply-side structural reforms and environmental protection storms have quickly cured smog pollution. The new era, new cycle, new infrastructure, new energy, and new economy are coming. The times have changed, and it is great wisdom to follow the trend. The third big opportunity: artificial intelligence ushered in rapid technological breakthroughs. Chat detonated the emergence of large-scale application scenarios, content creation, content search, intelligent driving, virtual digital human, brain-computer interface, star chain technology, and other artificial intelligence applications will profoundly change in human society. The rapid iteration and explosive growth of large models, data algorithms, computing power chips have brought major new opportunities. The fourth biggest opportunity is to meet the third energy revolution. The new energy industry is the most explosive and promising industry in the next 10 years. The Nokia moment of traditional fuel vehicles has arrived. New energy vehicles and power batteries are accelerating into the knockout competition. Energy, hydrogen energy, and intelligent driving are the three new trillion-level tracks, and new technologies, new industries, and new business models are booming. The fifth biggest opportunity: energy storage, hydrogen energy, and intelligent driving are on the eve of explosion, and the next super outlet will be born. The dual carbon strategy will build a new energy system. Green power plus energy storage plus distributed will rewrite the energy pattern. Hydrogen energy will become the cleanest energy solution for mankind, and the arrival of intelligent driving will bring revolution to human society and everyone's life. Sexual change. The sixth biggest opportunity: carbon footprint, carbon trading, and carbon market create huge opportunities while realizing low carbon, carbon capture, carbon sequestration, and carbon utilization create new business models while realizing technology carbon reduction, digitalization of energy. The age of intelligence is coming. The seventh biggest opportunity, the big turning point of the global economy often brews a new round of technological and industrial revolution. We are standing at the starting point of a new cycle. Most unicorns are born in hard technology, new energy, new media, big health, digital economy, artificial intelligence, and other fields. Investing is investing in the future. Where the future is, there are opportunities. The eighth biggest opportunity, consumption upgrades from housing to health and beauty, life medicine, and medical beauty technology are ushering in explosive growth, and will become a fast-rising big track. New technologies and new business models will rewrite the industry structure, and online winners will win all over the world. Live broadcast, e-commerce, and private domain operations are popular. The ninth opportunity, asset allocation in large categories, is respect for economic laws and the unity of knowledge and action. The economic cycle always starts from recovery, overheating, stagflation, and recession. Stocks, commodities, cash, and bonds outperform the general trend in turn. The stock market is a barometer of currency in the short term and a barometer of the economy in the long term. The reshuffle of traditional industries is the king, and new great companies will be born on the new track. The 10th opportunity is the end of the era of real estate development, the second half of urbanization, population gathering in metropolitan areas, and the rise of urban agglomerations. Real estate depends on population in the long run. Buying houses follows the flow of population, and regional differentiation will become increasingly obvious. Ladies and gentlemen, our speech today is coming to an end. We have experienced countless wars, crises, plagues, and depressions. In the darkest moments of human society, there are always people who stand up to establish visions, manage hopes, ignite the future, and inspire courage. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What you suffer will eventually light your way. I am an incurable long-term rational optimist because of the depth of our love for this land. As long as we work hard for the economy and put development as the top priority, we will surely be on the road to recovery. We firmly believe that the concept of a market economy has taken root in this country. On this beloved land of 9.6 million square kilometers, a new round of reform and opening up is unfolding like an epic. This is a journey towards high-quality development and a modern society. Towards a more open great battle. In this epic battle, everyone who promotes social progress will surely win glory. Every ordinary person who fights for his dream is a hero in his own life. Looking to the future, we choose to love this country deeply and love our career deeply. Looking forward to the future, we choose to firmly believe in the progress of the times and the power of dreams. Friends, the world will eventually belong to rational optimists. Let us ignite hope and brighten the future together. Let us bless the great motherland. Bless each of us. Thanks.